Hello and welcome to the Wayne State Coaches Show, an exclusive here on MyWayneNews.com. I'm Mike Carnes. We're here to talk Wildcat athletics, and sitting in for our coaches this week is Wayne State Sports Information Director Mike Grosz. He and I will sit down and talk about the Wayne State basketball team's efforts in the Northern Sun Conference tournament, and we'll have that and more Wayne State sports news coming up on this edition of the Coaches Show. We'll take time out and come back with more right after this timeout.
The Coaches Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Hello, welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show on MyWayneNews.com, and we're talking men's basketball, and in place for Jeff Kaminsky is Wayne State SID Sports Information Director Mike Grosz. We're here to talk about the Wildcats in the conference basketball tournament, and the reason why Coach Kaminsky isn't here is because the Wildcats are still in the basketball tournament as of Monday morning. Wildcats come away with a win at home to open the tournament on Wednesday over University of Mary 84-62, and then a huge win Sunday night over St. Cloud State 77-76. I know, Mike, you were at the game Sunday night, and I watched it on video, but what an effort by the Wildcats this weekend.
Yeah, it was. Welcome to March Madness, Mikey C.
Yeah.
So built a big lead and then held off a couple of great rallies, and guys played really, really hard and held on late. And you know, St. Cloud had beaten Wayne State 12 times in a row. That's the first time we've beaten St. Cloud since like 2011. And they're one of those teams that have had our numbers, but this year we've been able to break some of those long streaks, and last night we broke that streak against St. Cloud.
And it was not without great effort by Gage Davis for St. Cloud. He set a tournament record with 47 points in that ball game, including a three-pointer with 1.8 seconds left. But Wildcats were able to inbound the ball and get it up court without getting a foul called, and ended up coming away with the win. Kendall Jacks led four Wildcats in double figures with 20 points. And then Trevin Joseph added 19 points. Vance Jansen with 11. And Jordan Jansen with another double-double. He had 10 points and 11 rebounds. And again, a great effort. The Wildcats it was kind of a back-and-forth game. The Wildcats got down early, but went on an 18-3 run to take a 29-18 lead. And then St. Cloud was playing catch-up from then on, but they made a game of it until the very end. Going back to the game against Mary on Wednesday, Wildcats played their first conference tournament home game. I think it was since 2001 against Mary, and didn't disappoint anybody. They played really well in that game too.
Well, and I was so happy for our seniors, our four-year seniors, and Kendall's a fifth-year senior. So happy those guys were able to get a first-round home tournament game and to have the season that we're having for them. Vance Jansen, they've done so much for our men's program to turn it around from what they were when they were freshmen to this year. It's just kind of night and day. And you know, it's nice it was a great atmosphere too. The student crowd came out, and it was a fun night, and we got that win, and then the big win over St. Cloud. So hopefully keep the roll going.
Yeah, and the thing about this men's tournament is that there's been a lot of upsets. There were a lot of upsets in the first round. In fact, Augustana and Minnesota State, who were division champions with Wayne State, both got upset in the first round of the playoffs. And then now with St. Cloud going down, really the only upper tier team left in this tournament is Northern State on the other half. So this tournament has really turned into anybody's race, and one that Wayne State can win. And back in November, who'd have thought we'd be having that conversation?
It seems like every year there's only one or two upsets, but this year there have been so many upsets that it's unheard of. And like you said, you know, Northern traditionally is always there, and there again this year. Winona always seems to make a run tournament time, and they play Northern in that semifinal. And then Southwest, they've got a great player in Ryan Brueggemann, and Southwest always seems to play well at the Pentagon. They won the tournament there 2 years ago. So Wayne State, well, even though we were able to beat Southwest twice this year, you know that old phrase, got to beat a team a third time. So hopefully Cats can come out and get the job done.
Well, that's kind of a neat thing when you look at the teams that are left in that tournament. we have wins against everybody. We've beaten Winona twice, we've beaten Southwest twice, we beat Northern at their place. So on paper, you got to kind of like Wayne State's chances just based on the fact that we've got wins overall. And but like you said, winning at this time of the year is the most important part.
Now it becomes more of a mental than a combination mental physical, because now you're on possibly your third game in 3 or 4 days, and so now you find out how much depth you got, and you just got to grind it out and pick up a win, hopefully.
And it's very important for the Wildcats at this point. They're 21-9 on the season, and very important for them from a regional standpoint. The last regional rankings that came out, Wayne State was out of the top 10 with their loss to Sioux Falls, that knocked them out of the top 10. But the thing is, about these ratings now, it's really kind of shaking things up. Northern State is ranked third in the region right now, and St. Cloud State was ranked fourth. And then there were 3 other teams in the Northern Sun Conference that were ranked. Minnesota State was 7th, Minnesota Duluth was 8th, and Augustana was 9th. Now with Augustana and Duluth and Minnesota State all losing in the first round, that really jeopardizes those 3 teams' chances for making it to regional. And I think it was Southeast Oklahoma State, I think, is playing really well right now down in the GAC. So Wayne's really in a position here where I think if they win this game against Southwest, they probably have punched a ticket to regionals at that point.
I think pretty much the top 6 teams right now are pretty much a lock in the region, because you got Northwest Missouri was 1, and then I believe Washburn was 2, and then you had Northern St. Cloud from our league 3-4. And then you had Missouri Southern and Southern Nazarene. I think they've got a solid enough resume that if a Southern Nazarene or a Missouri Southern lost early in their conference tournament, they would still get in. So it's a matter of fighting for that 7 and 8 spot. And like you said, Southeast Oklahoma on a hot streak right now. They're 20-6, I believe. We're 21-9. But then you also, at the same time, have to hope that one of those top 6 teams, like a Northwest Missouri, don't get upset, because then that's going to be so those teams would get an at-large, and you would have an unexpected team sneak in and take one of those bottom couple of spots.
Right. So the three conference champions will all get automatic bids, and so you're hoping that, like you said, a Northwest Missouri and a Washburn, maybe meet in the finals, and then Nazarene and some of those other teams in the GAC that are in the hunt there, that they do well as well. So that would kind of help us. Of course, if we win the conference title, then it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't make a difference. That's exactly right. So.
Well, what are your thoughts going into this Monday night game against Southwest Minnesota State? I know Brueggemann is a kind of a key element in that team's success this year. What else does Southwest have?
Southwest has got some great 3-point shooting on the perimeter. Obviously, Brueggemann is the go-to guy. Kind of a similarity to St. Cloud State, to where Gage Davis was the go-to guy, and then they got a couple of other players that are great role players and can score. I just think if we come out, show the kind of effort that we did on Sunday night, we had 4 players in double figures. Jordan Jansen was just a beast inside. I love how he works inside. He's given up always a couple of inches to a post player from the opponent, but man, he finds a way to get the job done. And if make shots at certain times, make your free throws, and I would hopefully see us advance on to the finals. It
would be great to see the Wildcats back in the finals. It's been a long time since Wayne State's been in the conference championship game, and it'd be a great win for them if they can get a win Monday night against Southwest Minnesota State, and that's an 8 o'clock game up in Sioux Falls at the Pentagon. So if you can't get to the game, go to the Northern Sun Conference website at northernsun.org, and you can watch the game live there on their website. So, Mike, thanks for talking with us about men's basketball, and hopefully we get to go out there and see another win Monday night.
I would love to see it also.
All right, we'll take a time out and have more here on the Coach's Show right after this timeout.
The Coach's Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli, where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Hello and welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show on MyWayneNews.com. Some other sports information to pass along from involving Wayne State. 3 Wayne State men's basketball players and 1 women's player were named to the Northern Sun Conference's all-conference basketball teams in voting by conference coaches. Kendall Jacks led the 3 Wildcat men who were on the team. He was a first-team selection. Averaged 15.9 points and 5 rebounds this year. He's scored in double figures in 28 of 29 games this season and is currently in 3rd place on the school's all-time scoring list. Trevin Joseph was a second-team selection. He ranked 12th in the conference in scoring at 16.6 points a game. Or he led the team in scoring, at 16.6 a game and was 12th in the conference. He is 10th in conference in three-pointers made and scored a career best 35 points in Sioux Falls back on January 9th. Also had a 31-point game at Northern State. Vance Jansen was named to honorable mention honors this year. He's kind of the quarterback of the team. Averaged 12.1 points and 3 assists per game this season and ranked 2nd in the conference in steals per game at 1.4 per game. On the women's side, Erin Norling was named to the first team. She earned first-team selection this year. 15.2 points, 5.5 rebounds a game this season. She ranked 8th in scoring in the NSIC this year. She was also 3rd in minutes played and was tied for 8th in steals. She eclipsed her career best or season best effort this year against Northwest Missouri State. She scored 29 points on Saturday against Sioux Falls in their season finale. Scored in double figures in 28 of Wayne State's 30 games this season. Baseball team hit the road for their spring break trip. They stopped in Denver, Colorado for a 3-game series with Regis University. Dropped 2 of 3 there. On Thursday, they split a doubleheader. The Rangers won the first one 4-2. Wildcats came back and got the second game 5-2. In the opener, the Rangers limited the Wildcats to just 4 hits in the game, and Brendan Madsen had 2 of those hits in the effort. And in the nightcap, Hunter Wienhoff held the Rangers hitless over 4 2/3 innings as the Wildcats were able to hold off a late rally there. Travis Miller hit a 2-run homer in that game to get the win. On Friday, the Wildcats rallied from a 6-0 deficit, but ended up losing in 9 innings, 7-6. There was supposed to be a second game that day, but it was canceled due to time restrictions. Alex Loughlin went 3 for 5 with a double and a run scored, and Bryce Spicinius and Miller, Travis Miller, each went 2 for 5 to highlight the effort there. Wildcats are 6-3 on the season, and they are headed to Tucson, Arizona, where they will compete in baseball action there this week. Their first game will be against Concordia St. Paul on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And finally, the softball team headed to Florida this week for their annual spring training excursion at the National Training Center of Spring Games in Clermont, Florida. Started off with a couple of wins. McKenna Atkinson fired 6 scoreless innings of relief as the Wildcats were able to come away with a 4-2 win over Tiffin out of Ohio. The Wildcats got a 3-for-3 effort from Raquel Pinke. She also had an RBI in that game, and Morgan Vasa and Annie Grammer each had 2 hits in that win. The second game on Sunday, Wayne State used a 6-run 4th inning to come from behind and post an 8-5 win over Clarion University out of Pennsylvania. Every Wayne State starter had at least 1 hit in that game as the Wildcats finished with 14 hits. Raquel Pinke led the way with 3 hits and 2 runs scored, and Ashley Hernandez had 2 hits. Cameron Sparks and Morgan Vasa also had 2 hits in that game. That improves the Wildcats' record to 3-5 on the year, and they'll continue play in the NTC Spring Games this week in Florida. And then they're off until March 22nd through the 24th, where they'll head down to Missouri for the Missouri Western Tournament.